These are two of the smartest cars you can buy right now, and I'm not talking about artificial intelligence. I'm talking about something much cleverer for the real world. Because both this, the Škoda Kodiaq, and this, the Škoda Elroq, offer genius solutions to the challenges of modern family life. But they don't just do it with quite different exterior designs, with the bold-looking Kodiaq contrasting the more compact Elroq. No, the differences are far more than skin deep, which is why in this review, I'll help you decide which of these clever Škodas is best suited to your life, starting with the Kodiaq. Škoda interiors have long been known as sensible and functional, but the Kodiaq proves that that doesn't have to come at the cost of niceness, because this interior really does feel high quality. I mean, the materials are lovely. We've got Alcantara with some stitching on the dash, and even the plastics, they feel high end and quite soft. The steering wheel as well has genuinely perforated leather, so the things you touch and the things you engage with feel good quality. But then at the same time, you still get Škoda's typical functionality. And I'm going to show you some of the coolest bits in just a moment. But first I want to point at the screens, because they're really, really good in this car. They're shared with Volkswagen Group models, and that means they're not cheap. They're not low cost stuff. This is seriously fast tech, easy to use, and with a big screen as well. It means it's easy to use on the go. Plus, you've got volume control knobs and other manual controls where it matters, so it's not all touchscreen. But of course, there is good digital and analog combined together. I mean, look at these knobs down here. They are similar to the ones you'd see in a Land Rover because they do multiple things. If I click the button down there, you'll see that they can control things from your fan speed, your heater, your volume, and more as well. So they're functional, usable, and pretty high tech. And the screen ahead of me as well, it's nice and simple to use. It's got a big map display if you want it to have that. So on the move, this is an easy car to drive, and it's a comfortable one as well, because while these seats in this Sportline Kodiaq are very racy to look at, they're supportive and they're comfortable as well. But those key functional features I wanted to highlight, I think, are my favorite things in this car. Now, the screen, as big as it is, it's probably going to get finger marks and dust on it, but Škoda's thought about that because they've given you this Alcantara, or I think it might even be slightly more complicated material than that, to keep your screen clean. So you can wipe it down and get rid of the dust and the fingerprints with this feature here. And in there, you've also got some cup holders, but they can be doubled so that you have, instead of 2 spaces for cups, you've got 4. And on top of that, you've got this nice, generous amount of storage space in here as well. And there's room for your phones, wireless charging mats, and an additional shelf too. So really, this is a sensible Škoda interior that feels pretty premium. On first impressions, you might be thinking that the rear space in this Kodiaq is a little bit average because, well, yeah, I don't look like I've got that much space. But there is an easy way to fix that, because the rear bench on this car in its 2 halves can actually be slid all the way forwards to clear up more boot space, or all the way back to give me leg room that is, let's be frank, not far off a limousine, even with this seat set as low as it can go, meaning I don't have as much room as you probably would do in most other scenarios. Well, I've got enough room to straighten my legs out. This is really, really spacious for this class, and it gets better because not only have I got loads and loads of headroom, but also the width of this bench here means 3 teenagers in the back are going to be comfortable even on a long journey. Yes, okay, the middle seat does have a foot tunnel for your feet, so if you're a fully grown adult in the middle, it is the short straw, but it's still pretty comfortable. And you've got other creature comforts. You've got an armrest here if no one's in the middle, with 2 and a bit cup holders. And if you like to reach into the boot, or if you like to go skiing, well, of course, you can fold this down and extend the space to the back. Plus, I should really shout out the storage room, because typically Škoda means we've got space here, but also space in there as well for your phone. Really generous door pockets. And if you want to increase comfort even more, well, you just pull a little lever down here and you can slide all the way back like this. So I've got my limo-like legroom and a pretty laid-back seating position. Dare I say it, being in the back is actually probably the most comfortable place in this car. You're probably thinking that that space in the rear has come at the cost of boot space, but I'm going to show you why that isn't true. And I've actually given the car the worst setting possible to do that, because we've moved those rear seats all the way back and they're even angled in the most lean back position. So this is the worst case scenario for the boot, and yet look how much space we've got. Not only do we have loads of space here, and it's got this tough but flat section here, so loading heavy items should be easy, but also we've got generous amounts of underfloor storage, bearing in mind that this particular car is a plug-in hybrid. So we've got space down here to hide away your cables and a lot more. Plus, we've got room on the side there, room on the side there. This is a Škoda, of course, so you've got useful things to tie things down. You've even got hooks as well. Look, there's one here and there's one over there, but then there are 2 additional ones here if I can fold that down there, and then there's another one on this side as well. Plus you've got a storage shelf up there, and you've even got little cubby holes under the floor in other bits as well. So you've got one down here and one down here. So this is a really smartly laid out boot. Plus, if you wanted to fold down your seats, you don't have to go around to the front and pull those cables like I did earlier. You could just do it from the handles in the back here. So you can make your Kodiaq basically an estate car that quickly. Honestly, he's one of the most practical cars I've seen in, what, forever? And best of all, as I demonstrate how dog-friendly the Kodiaq's boot is, I can tell you that this very car, and many more like it, are available for you to examine in the metal at your local Marshall Skoda store, where dogs are very much welcome. But first, let's have a look inside the Elroq. If you're still not decided on whether you want the sportier looking Enyaq or this slightly more practical looking Elroq, well, don't worry, because the interior is identical. So this bit is relevant to both cars. And it's also interesting because it's different to what we saw in the Kodiaq, where that had Alcantara. This car gets a slightly harder wearing denim on the dash here, but you still get some nice stitching, and you've still got your soft touch plastics up here. So it still feels good in terms of fit and finish. And the tech is really good as well, because it's basically identical. I mean, the screen here, while it is a little bit shorter than the Kodiaq's, this is a smaller car of course, it's the same software, so it's fast to react, and you still get your wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And the instrument cluster screen over here, yes, it is quite small, but it's super sharp and it's great for information. Honestly, it's all you need. And if you prefer buttons, well, there are some on the interior of this car. There are fewer, so we don't have controls for the climate as manual buttons. Instead, they are in the screen over here, but thankfully there are shortcut buttons which are manual down here. So if I wanted to access the deeper menu for climate control, I just click that button down there. So it's nice and easy to use. And we've also got a decent amount of storage space. Now this is a smaller car, so it doesn't quite have the volume of the Kodiaq, but both this and also the Enyaq will get something that that Kodiaq doesn't get. I mean, it makes up for the lack of glove box space, and that is underneath here, because this being an electric car, it means we don't have any gubbins from your engine going through here. Instead, you've got loads of storage space, and you've also still got an okay amount of room here for your phone, cup holders, space in there, and you've got loads and loads of room in here. In fact, there's layers of room. Look, I can take out your storage boxes in here, and then you've got all this room down there, which is quite nifty. Plus, the door pockets aren't too bad as well, and the seats, while they're not as sporty to look at and they don't feel as sporty as the Kodiaq's, they're definitely just as comfortable. So on a long distance drive, this car should be just as easy to live with. Speaking of long distance journeys, this Elroq can do way over 300 miles between charges, which means it's one of the best in the class. While we don't have the space that we had in the bigger Kodiaq, the back of this Elroq and also the Enyaq feels typically Skoda because it makes maximum use of the available room. Now, of course, this is a batteried car. It's got batteries in the floor, so the floor is a little bit higher, and typically in an EV, that's a bit of a problem for comfort. But Skoda has fixed that problem because it's added this little lip to the fronts of the seats here, which means it supports you in the right places and therefore makes it more comfortable on a long journey. And even the middle seat, well, it's better because this is a battery car, because it means we don't have a foot tunnel here. So anyone sat here doesn't have to straddle that tunnel. They've got more room for their feet. And yes, the seat is quite wide. In fact, this whole rear section is decent in size, and the legroom isn't bad at all. Yeah, we don't have the sliding rear bench you get in the Kodiaq, but in this standard seating system, this standard setup, I'm still pretty comfortable, and I've got good amounts of headroom as well. And by the way, if headroom is a priority for you, you definitely want to go for the Elroq over the Enyaq because the roofline is a little bit higher. If you don't have anyone in the middle seat, well, you've got this fold down armrest here, and this is quite nifty. If you lift this up, you've got two cup holders here as well. Plus, you might think, well, there's no ski hatch. Where am I gonna get into the boot? But there is. If you just pull this handle down here, then you've got a narrower, but still very useful access point there. And of course, the other Skoda features in this car are the storage space. You've got a decent door pocket here, and you've got your double pockets here in the seat ahead, and you've also got your own climate control, which can be controlled by the buttons. And look, we've got heated seats in this one as well. Plus, you've got a pair of USB-C ports too. So the backseat experience here is well above standard. Believe it or not, this is the fun part, because while most boots are boring, you haven't seen the boot of an Elroq yet, because this has a lot of genius features. Now I'll start from top to bottom because there's that much to talk about. So you know parcel shelves, they're okay, they keep your boot insulated and maybe you can store some items on top. Well, Škoda has realised actually there's a lot of wasted space on these, so they've fitted this section of storage here which hangs off the bottom, and because it's stretchy you can get larger items than you might think into here. So whether it's, I don't know, kids' toys or even just books and maps, they can be hidden away up there, out of sight, out of the way. And you'll also notice this second parcel shelf over here, which can of course be used to store items on here, or it can be used as a boot divider. But there's more, because look, if I move it, then you'll notice we have a hammock, which of course is used for more storage. You can put items in there, or you could even maybe, I don't know, throw a dog in there if it's small enough. Plus you've got a little hook on the back of it here, which means you can hang your bag in there securely, or around the back as well. And if you like your hooks, well, you've got a few more. There's actually small hooks here built into the boot sides, but then there's also two extra ones hidden away. If I fold down here, and then the same on the other side, we have these two quite strong load-bearing hooks, which is genius. And if you need even more features, well, there is a QR code here to scan. So if you scan that, it would take you straight to basically a parts catalog for the extra features you can get to attach to the boot and the rest of the car. It honestly is genius. It is a car boot sale in your boot. But if you prefer having somebody help you through it rather than having to go through on your phone, well, you can of course just come down to a Marshall Škoda store like this one here in Northampton, and the team will be very happy to walk you through it and show you some of the parts as well, so you can try before you buy. But of course the baseline storage in this car is still pretty decent. Look, I mean, we've got more shelves here, you've got shelves down there, and this stretchy bit here hides away this feature, which is, well, you might think, what's that all about? But look, it velcros into the carpet. So if I were to put it here, for example, you could, I don't know, put your cricket or your tennis ball there, stop it from rolling around. So it's nifty, it's useful. And of course, this being an EV, it's very handy to see that you've got a bit of underfloor storage to hide away your charge cable. It means it's not sliding around in the boot floor, getting in your way. As far as boots are concerned, this is genius. As for engines, the Kodiaq comes in petrol, diesel, mild hybrid and plug-in hybrid forms, while the Elroq is fully electric. This means if you prefer the convenience of petrol or diesel, or if you're keen to save money with hybrid power without going fully electric, the Kodiaq is the car for you. While the Elroq, which is capable of travelling way over 300 miles between charges, is a great choice for buyers ready to make the switch. Whatever engine or car you choose, both of these Škodas ride comfortably, are effortless to drive and feel refined, making them perfect for a busy life. So that's the brilliance of Škoda design, because it doesn't matter whether you go for the smaller Elroq or the bigger Kodiaq, what you're going to get yourself is one of the cleverest cars that money can buy. And don't just take my word for it, come down to a Marshall Škoda store where you can test drive a car and even bring along a furry friend to see which one they prefer. And if you want to find out where your nearest store is, hit the link in our description below. Or if you prefer your SUVs to be as good off-road as these are clever, watch our review on the Land Rover Defender Octa over here. And if you want to see more reviews like this, we'll click the subscribe button to be the first to see our latest videos. And let us know in the comments below, what would you like us to drive next?